I am so happy to sit down with you today and chat, even if it's on Zoom. It's so great to be able to connect at a distance. And I wanted to start out because last time I spoke to you, we were talking about tattoos. And since you've gotten, I noticed a new one on your hand. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, that's new, yes.
Yeah, what's the significance behind that?
Yeah. Good question. Do you have any tattoos?
I do just have one, but I cover it up most times because I don't. I've gone.
Is it part of your past?
It's part of my past, and it's just not something that I am super pumped about anymore. So I wear a watch.
Apparently, right? Oh, it's under your watch band.
Yeah, I try and hide that, and then when I don't wear my watch, people are always like, "You have a tattoo?" Because I always have it hidden.
I had my wife's middle name put on my fingers, and I realized that I suddenly can't really wear any rings on that hand because otherwise her name becomes May or Ari or various things. They don't tell you that when you're getting tattoos on your fingers that you probably won't be able to wear any rings.
Yeah, but I think the tattoos is its own form of jewelry anyways. So I think you don't need them.
That's true. That's right.
So also loved hearing you on the Taylor Swift Out of the Vault. You were in 2 songs on that, which was so awesome to hear. And I was wondering if she's going to be returning the favor, possibly being on the Speed of Now Part 2, or if you can touch on any collaborations that you may have, because I'm anticipating a Part 2 is coming.
I would sing with her in a heartbeat. Feel like I've known Taylor forever. It was great getting to sing on those songs with her, and I mean, I would love to do something with her on my record at some point. So that's an open invitation for sure.
We're putting it out there right now. Very
putting it out there,
Tay Tay. But just in case.
Collaborations. I'm always sort of thinking of those, and looking for unusual ones. Probably I'm most intrigued by unexpected collabs. Somebody like Breland.
Oh, I love Out of the Cage.
I love that because when I got to really know him, I was like, oh, we should get in the studio and see what happens, because I think something very unusual will happen if we can get together. It'd be something that you or I wouldn't do on our own. It would be this third thing. So let's see what happens. And Soul Food and Out the Cage and other things came out of that. There's actually a song of his that I collaborated on that it's going to be coming out very soon as well.
Oh, exciting. Okay, so that's the insight that we get to upcoming collaborations.
There you go. Yes.
Also, I'm an avid Calm app listener. Straight up, I listen to that every single night before I go to bed. So when I saw your name pop up on there, I was so excited to see that. And you've been putting me to sleep for quite a few weeks now, quite a few months. And I am very intrigued to hear the process behind that. Did you take bits of that, go home, try to fall asleep to it, rework it, or did you just do it in the studio and you're like, this feels right, this is it, it feels good right now?
C, it was the last one. It was probably just thinking of all the things, particularly massage music, when you go to a spa or something like that, and feel like I've been doing that for so many years that there's certain chordal structures and melodic things and whatever atmospheres that I was trying to capture. And having never done it before, I felt a bit of a novice. And it's the first time in my life where I looked in the control room and thought, if the engineer is not falling asleep, I'm sucking at my job right now.
The one and only time that you want to put people to sleep with your music.
Yes.
And it works.
I want to look in there and see the guy's head just completely on the console, and I'll be like, yes.
That's one thing that I'm upset about, because I always want to listen to the entire thing through, but I can't, because I'm just asleep within minutes of it. But from what I have heard before I drift off, it's so spa-like and so dreamy and so nice. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to kind of piggyback on that, because obviously That's not a country genre type of thing that you do.
No.
And with Brayland as well, you know, you push the boundaries on being this multi-genre type of artist. And does it bug you when you get misconceptions about that? Do you care? Do you not, that you're not in this country box? Or is it something you're like, I'm just doing me and that's all?
Yeah, I've never thought about pushing the boundaries of anything, because that would be me claiming I've just created a country song that doesn't sound country at all. Then I think it would be fair to say, oh, you're really pushing the boundaries. But I do stuff that has nothing to do with country, like Out the Cage, like plenty of songs. I mean, Gemini off of Graffiti You. There's plenty of songs that have nothing to do with country.
Yeah.
Because I grew up playing top 40 covers. You know, that's kind of how I got my start. Playing a mix of country and top 40 covers in cover bands. And so my music's always had that big sort of fusion of different things. And at some point I gave up trying to sort of fuse it and just go, well, just write what you want to write, record what you want to write, and just make it authentic. Half of what I do, I don't think sort of lives in any category. So I always chuckle at people kind of going, that's not country. And I go, no, quite right. You're absolutely spot on. That is not at all.
But I think that country, what people like kind of frustrates me, and I love country so much, but is that country listeners rather don't understand that every musical genre evolves. And rock and roll, it evolved from classic rock to what it is now, and country's evolving, and this is the evolution of country music. And I think it's so fresh and so fun, and it's a new perspective that I wish that would stop getting a label put on it. That's just my perspective.
You know, for people who love Alan Jackson, who would listen to what we do now, they'd say that's not Alan Jackson country music. People that listen to Patsy Cline hated what Alan Jackson did to the genre. People who loved Ernest Tubb hated what Patsy Cline did to the genre. And it's the same all the way back. Every generation brings a fusion that's unique to themselves, because it's based on the music that they grew up with. And it's not, it's different, you know, it's different. So the music right now that so many country artists grew up with was a lot of 90s, a lot of early hip hop, R&B from the 90s, and country from the late 80s, which was very pop driven, or not so much the late 80s, but even early 80s, a very pop driven country. So there's always influences coming into it, you know, and then it's just the way that every artist filters those influences into their music that makes it unique. The only thing I ever have an issue with is when something is just completely derivative, and I'm like, right, okay, it sounds like it's cut straight out of the 90s, but it's not the 90s. So what new element are you bringing to it? Because we already had that. I've heard that. That and what? What's the other thing? Yeah. What's the ingredients, the new ingredients?
Yeah, I love that perspective. And I think that's healthy to have. And that's probably why you're always evolving and you always have this new sound. So on that, though, so I love like listening to interviews with some of my favorite writers, and a common theme that I've found is that they say that they write their book and then they go on their book tour, and as they start discussing the book with people, they realized, I wish I would have written that different or cut that out. And have you ever released an album or a song or something, and then you realize after the fact, I wish I would have done this differently? And if so, what was it?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great question, because it's true. It's, you know, the recorded version of a song is literally just that. It's one version. It's the version you recorded that day or that week or whatever, but that's that version. And then you go out and you start playing the song live, and the thing morphs and evolves and grows, and it's the version we did in Vancouver that night, and it's the version we did over there. They're all variations on it. And I think that's just a song staying alive, you know, night after night, and finding it's like the story that, everybody's got a book that they love and they've read it multiple times. I'm like, why did you read it multiple times? The words didn't change. And you're like, but the meaning, my connection to it did.
Interesting.
It kept changing, So that's the same thing with songs.
Yeah, that's why I do love seeing you live too, because I'll be singing the recorded version when you're doing it, and then you go off on this other thing. I'm like, ooh, that was okay. That's a fresh new take on this song, and that's always fun to see. If you go to back-to-back shows with you, the first show is completely different than the other, and that's, I think, what is always so enticing about seeing you live is the element of surprise that comes with it.
Well, sometimes too, it's like we had a song called We Were, which is on, I guess, one of the early singles off The Speed of Now.
Yeah.
And we were doing festivals when that song came out. It had just come out on the radio, so people didn't know it yet. We'd go out and play these festivals, and we'd do that song, and it just wasn't, it didn't seem to be connecting with people. And I'm like, what do we do with this song? Why is it not connecting? I thought, well, they don't know it yet. And I'm like, okay, then I think it's a really good song. And I thought, well, why do I think it's a good song? I thought, well, I think it's a good story. I went, okay, well then get rid of the band and play it acoustic and tell the story beforehand. Like, just forget the record, forget the whatever, just tell the story of the song. And I started playing the song solo with my acoustic guitar, and it changed the whole thing, because then people could connect with it.
Yeah.
Without the big sort of the big band and the whole thing, because they didn't know the record yet. So that whole thing was just a bit distracting, and they couldn't get to the story. So that's one of those things that, it's just figuring out how to connect. And that's all I ever want to do live.
Yeah, just adapting too as well in the moment.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So I don't want to keep you too long because I know we're on a time frame, but I do want to ask you one last question. And it was this thing that we did on the air this week, and it got just a ton of reaction. It was a lot of fun, and I imagine you'll probably have a pretty cool answer to this. So the question was, what is your rap name? But you have to follow this formula. It's Lil, followed by the last thing that you bought. So like mine was Lil Avocado, because I literally just went out and grabbed avocados for breakfast on the day that we did this. So I wonder what the last thing that you bought was, but in your rap.
Well, I bought a really cool pair of sneakers, so it'd be Lil Kicks.
Lil Kicks. I like that you spun it around and make it fresh too.
Yeah, Lil Kicks. Yeah, that'd be me.
Well, I will forever and always reference you as Little Kicks from here on
Lil Kicks. Yeah. Which will end up getting shortened to Lil K. Let's face it. Right? Yeah, that's me.
Which actually just works out like, first name basis, kind of.
You'd be Lil K too, Kristen. Come on.
I know.
It's the heck.
Well, I'm sticking with Lil Avocado because I feel like that's a little bit more of a unique spin, but I would gladly take on Lil K times 2 or whatever it may be.
I remember this T-shirt I saw with a two little cartoon avocados, and have you seen that with the guy and the girl? And the girl avocado is running away in tears, and the guy avocado is yelling, "I said you were the good fat."
Is that your best? I think that's your best dad joke. That might be something that you should tell your girls this, because that's ultimate dad joke material right there.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm going to be Lil K wearing that T-shirt and just be the most gangster rapper.
I'll find you the shirt, Kristen.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can't wait for The Speed of Now Part 2 to come out and to get you back in Vancouver, get you back in Canada.
Me too. I'm ready.
Yeah, I know Eric Church just announced dates right here in Vancouver, so fingers crossed that maybe that's we're going to get a little...
The pressure's on. Eric put the pressure on. I get it. I hear you. All right. Low Kicks is coming.
Absolutely love that. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day and a fantastic weekend. Stay safe.
You too, Kristen. So nice to talk to you.